Hi there, this is Gary Ryan Blair with a powerful message on the importance of keeping it simple. See, one thing we all have in common is the need for more, better, and faster results. And that is exactly where the problem starts. See, the truth is it's hard and getting harder to be efficient, to maintain peak levels of productivity, and to remain focused. Well, why is that? Is there a conspiracy of some type going on? Are people and technology really out to get you? Should you? Should you be paranoid? Perhaps even afraid? The answer is yes, yes, and yes to each one of those questions. See, just a few moments of reflection will provide you with more than enough evidence that you're spending more and more of your time in environments that have their own agendas that are in direct conflict with your own. See, the world is not acting in our long-term benefit, and it's highly unlikely that it ever will. Just think about it. Phone calls, emails, text messages, push notifications, Facebook updates, LinkedIn requests, Instagram, Snap, Twitter feeds, and mindless YouTube videos all scream, "Look at me." TV ads, magazines, bumper stickers, car wraps, and billboards all want you to stop what you're doing and to focus on them. Colorful banner ads, pop windows, clickbait, fake news, unwanted surveys, useless quizzes, sensational and misleading headlines, as well as endless hyperlinks, all beg for your click. Our new normal is the relentless, the aggressive chain of siren songs from our environment. And as to their agenda, well, it's actually very simple. It's to distract you long enough to divert your attention so that what was once yours is now theirs. In other words, they actively work to pickpocket your focus. So what's their strategy? How do they go about doing it? Well, it's old school divide and conquer. See, much like a jealous lover, all of these agendas conspire to separate you from whatever it is you're doing, so that your attention, your energy, your money, whatever it is now completely focused on them. And the crazy part is that if you followed every one of these directives, you'd quickly be obese, stressed out, unfocused, broke, and in a constant state of fear and paranoia. So is it really much of a surprise that we're becoming less efficient, that we're lagging in productivity and getting more and more unfocused as the days go by? Technology and innovation breakthroughs promise to make our lives easier and much more productive. And in some cases it does. But why is it so often such a hassle, such a wasteful amount of our time and a killer to our productivity? We must all wake up to the reality that the wagons are circling and we're all being surrounded by scheming thieves. I'm talking about thieves of our time, thieves of our attention, thieves of our money, thieves of our productivity, thieves of our privacy, thieves of the truth, and other forms of creative thievery. At the risk of being a broken record, the world is not acting in our long-term benefit. And without a serious and sustained intervention on our part, the distractions, the interruptions, and the loss of productivity and privacy that we're experiencing today are only going to accelerate and exacerbate tomorrow. So you might be asking, what's the solution? How do you remain focused and deliver more, better, and faster results in an environment which is bent on doing just the opposite? And if you're finally ready to take your medicine and to do what needs to be done in order to be much more productive, then here's a simple solution to a difficult and systemic problem, and that is to engage in radical acts of simplicity. See, simplicity by its mention alone creates a sense of relief and freedom in this increasingly complex world. And it's reason enough as to why it must become your priority strategy for taking complete control of your environment. Complexity, without a doubt, is the curse of the digital age. It's a type of intellectual pollution that smothers clear thought and which has direct negative benefits on your individual productivity, on customer delight, and corporate profitability. And throughout history, the tools and the technology that we have always used shaped our bodies, our arts, our architecture, and us. Now, many of the digital tools that we're using and those being used upon us are confusing and controlling us while also undermining our quality of life and our overall productivity. And that's precisely why we must exert greater control over our environment and engage in radical acts of simplicity. See, simplicity is a good thing, as it does not precede complexity, but it follows it. Simplicity removes waste of every type. It saves time and money. It improves decision-making. It stimulates productivity. It empowers focus. And get this, simplicity is a sustainable competitive advantage. Now, simplicity doesn't just happen on its own. In fact, without conscious, sustained effort focused on simplicity, the exact opposite, that is, increased complexity, is guaranteed to manifest itself. So no matter how you look at it, both you and I are left with just two choices. The first is that we can become swept along on this wave of complexity and become increasingly rushed, stressed, and unfocused as we try to fit everything in and to absorb everything that is thrown at us. Or we can make conscious decisions and hard trade-offs to start simplifying our businesses and our lives. Start purging and pruning away the unnecessary and in getting back to the basics. Of course, achieving absolute simplicity is something that none of us will ever be able to achieve. However, if we don't make some concerted effort, if we don't train ourselves to look for ways to simplify, we can only guarantee that our lives become much more complex, busier, less efficient, and far more stressful. And the opportunities for radical simplicity abound when we know where to look, which of course is right under our nose. So let me provide you with a few acts of radical simplicity. You must decide to control your environment with an iron fist, or it will control you. You must reduce your options by creating a short yes list of key priorities and then have the discipline to stick to it. You must set firm boundaries on what you will and will not tolerate from people and technology. You must enforce time rules and protocols for how and when you will utilize technology. You must inform and educate your staff, your family, and associates of these new rules. You must also schedule time each day to think, to plan, and to reflect. You must optimize your workspace and your entire environment for what you need to achieve. You must also focus on what I call the extermination of productivity termites, which means the elimination of anything that does not support and strengthen your focus. You must also have a deep reverence for the fundamentals, as success in any endeavor is built on a foundation of simple, timeless, universal, and pragmatic principles. And one additional radical act of simplicity is you must set clear and compelling goals, as not having a plan, goals, or a system in today's world is dangerous because the default isn't neutral. Now, the goals you set must inspire you, they must seduce you and challenge you so that you resist the temptation to cheat and to give in to the beck and call of distractions. But keep in mind, the simple life is not simple. Temptation will always present itself in shiny new objects, bigger and better features, greater speed, cooler design, luxury, and other fascinating gimmicks. But if we are to create instead a significant bounce or leap forward to the quality of our lives and our overall productivity, then it will surely include a shift towards simpler, more sustainable, and satisfying ways of managing our environment. And learning how to manage your environment is just one of the very powerful strategies you'll learn once you begin the 100-Day Challenge. So check it out at 100daychallenge.com and make it the very next thing you do.